Howdy, hi. It is Do Your Job Sports NFL picks and predictions for week 15. We are looking at the best bets of the week. Let's get into the video. All right, first things first, we're going to recap the previous week's results. We go 5-6 on the week, mostly thanks to the Browns being awful and the Lions losing by the hook. So let me recap these games right quick, and then we'll get into the picks for next week. First game, the Thursday night game. It was the Packers at the Lions with the over 51.5. That one cashed to no sweat. Final score of this game, Packers 31, Lions 34. Next game, we had the Jaguars +4 at the Titans. Forget the +4. How about they win on the money line? Final score of this game, Jacksonville 10, the Titans 6. Turns out the Titans can't really score when you have Will Levis as a quarterback and your running back is Tony Pollard with not much of an offensive line. You're probably not going to end up very well. Mac Jones went 23 of 31 with 2 interceptions, and they still won this game. How that makes any sense, I don't know. We then had 2 winners on the same game. It was the Seahawks +2.5 and the over 44.5 as the Seahawks go into Arizona, beat the Cardinals for the second time this year, winning 30-18. Shout out to, what's this guy's first name? Zach Charbonnet. You're a beast. Goes for 134 yards, 2 touchdowns. Then we had Jackson Smith-Njigba. He goes for 82. Geno Smith played a great game, 24 of 30, 1 touchdowns, no interceptions, no fumbles lost. He did fumble it, but he got it back, so we're chilling. Then in probably the luckiest game of the day, we had the Bengals -5. They win because the Cowboys are just horrible. Cowboys block the punt, Muff getting it back. That counts as a fumble. First play after that, Bengals get it. Jamar Chase, 45-yard touchdown. And that's about all she wrote. Now let's talk about the losers right quick with the Lions -3.5. They win, but only by 3 against the Packers. Kind of tough. They had a 7-point lead. They had a 10-point lead at halftime. They then gave it up in the second half. Won on that field goal. That's the way of the road. Sometimes you live by the hook, you die by the hook. Browns, we lose both of our bets. I am now done betting Browns on the spread. They suck. You think they're going to cover. They're right about to cover. And then Jameis either goes and throws a pick 6 or just an interception, or our defense allows an 80-yard touchdown, or just some nonsense happens. So I'm done taking the Browns on the spread. Still going to rock the over, though. I feel like the over was the correct side. Again, Jameis just turns the ball over too much for this to happen. So they lose. Final score of this game, Pittsburgh 27, the Browns 14. So all the Browns needed was one more field goal, and we would have had this, but we suck, so we can't do that. Then had the Falcons +5.5. In the beginning of this game, this was looking good. It was 7-7 at the end of the first quarter. They were driving, and then they just got destroyed. They lose 42-21 with the Saints -5. They win, but they don't win by enough. They only win by 3. Final score 14-11. Then with the over 50.5 in that Cincinnati-Dallas game, they only score 47. So kind of tough, but whatever. We got lucky with the Bengals -5, so we'll take it. All right, that is how we went 5-6. Let's get on to next week's picks. First game, Rams and San Francisco, taking the Rams +3. Both of these teams coming off of wins. I think the Rams win was much more impressive as they beat the Bills. Great home game, 44-42. Sam ran off of beating the Bears, so it's basically a free win considering how bad Chicago is. The Rams are 6-2 in their last 8 games. They have managed to salvage this horrible start to the season. They averaged 357 yards of offense a game. That is ranked 15th in the NFL. They scored a minimum of 20 points in each of their last 4 games. San Francisco had lost 3 in a row prior to beating Chicago by 25. In those 3 games, they scored 10 points, 10 points, and 17 points. The Niners have a lot of guys on the injury report. I'm very surprised they're favored in this matchup. So 2 teams heading in opposite directions. I'm going to take the team that I think is currently playing better. So give me the Rams +3. I like Matt Stafford a lot more than I like Brock Purdy. And the Niners don't have McCaffrey. So yeah, give me the Rams +3. Hit the money line as well. Next game, Kansas City and the Browns. Like I said, I've given up on all hopes of the Browns covering the spread because Jameis Winston just throws too many interceptions. But I do like the over of 43.5. The Browns don't play defense, and the Chiefs are the Chiefs. They got one of the best quarterbacks. They have a solid running back. They have one of the best tight ends. So the over is probably going to hit. Browns defense has been horrid for almost every single game this year. They are ranked 22nd in overall yards given up. That is 26th in points allowed per game at 26. Most of that is because Jameis has thrown 5 or 6 pick sixes. He's horrible. This dude's awful. They've given up 27, 41, 19, 35, 27 in their last 5 games. The Chiefs are obviously good on offense. They should not have a problem beating this weak Browns defense. If Jameis actually decides to play football, then the Browns are capable of scoring probably 20 plus points, or maybe he'll throw 2 more pick sixes. You have no idea what's going to happen with this Browns team. So for that reason, no spread, just the over 43.5. Next game we're looking at, it is Cincinnati and Tennessee. I'm taking the Bengals -5. This line doesn't make much sense to me. The Titans just lost a home game to the Jaguars with a backup quarterback with Mac Jones. Now the Bengals are coming into town off of a 7-point win at the Cowboys. And they're only laying 5? Huh? This should be closer to -14. The Titans are awful. Titans might be the worst offense in the league. I'd probably rate them lower than the Bears just because they can't do anything. They're ranked 29th overall in yards per game. They have lost 4 out of their last 5 games. Will Levis looks completely lost every single time he steps out on the field. There is no way I'm backing that dude on the football field. We've seen way too many photos of him in unimaginable positions physically on a football field. I've never seen anyone else do that. So the fact he's doing this as a young quarterback, quite impressive. The Bengals are ranked 9th in offensive yards per game at 375 per contest. In their last 5 games, they've scored 27, 38, 27, 34, and 24 points. I do not think the Titans offense will be able to keep up or score anything close to that. The Titans have not scored 20 points in 4 out of their last 5 games. They've only done it 3 times this entire season. I think the Bengals are going to win this one. Give me a 31-17 finish. Bengals -5. Lock it up. Next game we got, it is Miami heading into Houston, take on the Texans. I'm taking the Texans -3. I'm thinking the Texans are going to be able to figure some things out. They're coming off of their bye week, so hopefully they were able to look at some film, maybe just relax at home, not think about football for a while, and start to figure out what the heck they got going on this season. Dolphins average 350 yards per game compared to the Texans, who average 360. Nothing too crazy difference-wise on offense. Their defenses, again, very similar. They're ranked 8th and 7th overall, giving up 22 points a game for both teams. The main angle for this one is the Texans are off a bye week, and the Dolphins are off of an overtime game against the Jets. Texans need to turn on the Jets to really put the Colts in the rearview mirror. I think they currently sit 2.5 games up on them in the division. I don't think the Colts are really going to threaten to take it from them. But if the Texans do want to, again, maybe rest their guys for the final few weeks of the season and not have to worry about home field advantage for the first week, this is one they're going to have to win. So I'm going to take Texans -3 at home off a bye week. Next game, Bills and Lions. I'm taking the Lions -2.5. Get this, Josh Allen record set nonsense out of here. Allen could probably set another NFL record in this game, and they're still going to lose by 10 plus points. The Lions are looking like, in my opinion, the best team in football. They've won 11 games in a row. They got the second-ranked offense in yards per game at 410. And on top of that, their defense is ranked 9th in the NFL, giving just 18 points and 335 yards per game. The Bills coming off of a game where they scored 42 points. You're probably like, 42 points. Your QB rushed for 3 touchdowns and threw 3 touchdowns. That's the first time that's ever happened in NFL history. Surely that resulted in a win, correct? No. They lost because they gave up 44. Their offense and defense both ranked 14th. They get 360 yards a game on offense, and they're giving up 345 on defense. The Bills have given up a minimum of 20 points in 4 out of their last 5 games. I think they're going to give up 30 plus here against the Lions offense, who's looking like one of the top teams in the NFL. So I'm going to take the Lions at home, not even laying a field goal. One of the best offenses and a much better defense than the Bills. So give me the Lions. Next game we're looking at, this line makes no sense to me. Who made the Seahawks a 3-point dog at home against the Packers? What are we doing here? Has Vegas not been watching the Seahawks play football since the break? They've been really good. Seahawks 8-5 on the year. They are 4-0 since their bye week. They've beaten the 49ers, the Cardinals twice, one at home and then one away, and then the Jets on the road. So you beat the Niners on the road, the Jets on the road, the Cardinals on the road, and then you beat the Cardinals at home. And you're telling me you're a 3-point dog at home against a Packers team that is coming off of a loss to the Lions. That'll make no sense. Both of these offenses are pretty good. They're ranked 8th and 11th in the NFL. They have the ability to go out there and score. So if you wanted to take the over here, I don't mind that either. However, there are a few Green Bay Packer injuries on the offensive line that would kind of shy me away from that. If they're able to get better protection for Love for this game, that might be something I'd be willing to look into. But the fact that the Green Bay does have those injuries, the Seahawks are 4-0 since the bye week. They were at home. How is this +3? You could have told me this was Seahawks -3, and I think I still would have laid it. So I'm going to trust Geno. I'm going to trust the Seahawks home crowd. Give me the Seahawks +3. Final game here. Now this one kind of just seems too obvious to me. It's Chicago and the Vikings. And the Vikings are only laying 7? Brother, again, does Vegas watch these games? Did they not see what happened last week against the 49ers with Chicago? Like, hello? What? Hello? Bears, they've now lost 7 games in a row. Obviously, their head coach was fired. Does not really look like they want to win or like they know what's going on the football field. Their offense is ranked 28th. Their defense is ranked 24th. They have given up 38, 32, 30, 20, 19, 29, and 18 in their 7-game losing streak. Then they lost to the Vikings by 3 at home just 3 weeks ago. And that was the closest game they've played in a while. The Vikings have won 6 games in a row, coming off of beating Kirk Cousins in his return to Minnesota. So they beat Atlanta by 21 points. In their last 4 games, they have scored 23, 30, 23, and 42 points. There's no way on earth I would be touching the Bears +7. I don't think I'd touch the Bears +14. You would have to give me 20 points to take the Bears, and I still would not feel comfortable doing it. So give me the Vikings -7. Wrap it up on Monday night. Put a bow on it. All right, that's going to do it for me in this video. I appreciate you guys tuning in and watching, and I'll catch y'all in the next one. Peace.